Hi, it's Alan Begg here. Welcome to today's TEFL lesson. Today's lesson is going to be on plurals. Plurals. It's going to be a PPP style lesson: presentation, practice, and production. Let's do a wee warm-up exercise to see what you already know about plurals. Do you know any of the rules regarding plurals? Let's look at some examples. One cat, two cats. One sheep, two sheep. One potato, two potatoes. One cactus, two cacti. One donkey, two donkeys. As you can see here, there's different rules for different nouns. There's not a one-size-fits-all rule for making plurals. Let me give you a wee bit of theory about the topic of plurals. When we talk about plurals, we must also talk about singular. What does singular mean? Singular means only one of something. For example, a dog, one dog, the dog, your dog. Now, what does plural mean? Plural means more than one of something. For example, dogs, two dogs, the dogs, your dogs. In order to make a noun plural, it is usually necessary to just add an S. There's going to be different rules for regular nouns and irregular nouns. So we're going to go through those different rules. But usually you just need to add an S to make a singular noun into a plural. There are rules for regular nouns and exceptions, of course, unfortunately, for irregular nouns. Let's look at regular nouns first. This is the rule which is true for most regular nouns. You just add an S to the end of the singular noun. For example, cat becomes cats, train becomes trains, cake becomes cakes, house becomes houses, chair becomes chairs, desk becomes desks, computer becomes computers, and book becomes books. However, there are many regular nouns where the rules are different. For regular nouns that end in an S or SH or X or CH, you add an ES to the end. For example, one bus becomes two buses with an ES at the end of bus. It's not two BUSS. It's not just an S at the end. It's an ES. Brush, which ends in the SH, brush. One brush, two brushes. You don't just put an S at the end of brush. Brush with an ES, brushes. with the X at the end. 1 fox, 2 foxes. You don't just put an S at the end of fox. Beach ends with the CH. You put the ES at the end of beach. 1 beach, 2 beaches. It's not just an S at the end of beach. Regular nouns that end in a Z, you add an extra Z and also the ES. For example, quiz. 1 quiz, 2 quizzes. An extra Z and an ES. An extra Z and an ES. 1 quiz, 2 quizzes. For some regular nouns that end in F or FE, you can just add an S. For example, 1 roof, 2 roofs. 1 safe, 2 safes. For roof and safe, you're just adding the S onto the end of the singular noun to make a plural. However, for some regular nouns that end in F or FE, it is necessary to change the F or FE to a V and add ES. For example, shelf becomes 2 shelves. So you've dropped the F, changed it to a V and added ES. Another example is wife becomes 2 wives. Drop the F, change it to a V and add the ES. For regular vowels that end in a vowel, then a Y, you add an S. So for example, donkey ends in a Y and has a vowel E before the Y. You just add an S. 1 donkey, 2 donkeys. Nouns that end in a vowel, then Y, so vowel, then Y, you just add an S. 1 donkey, 2 donkeys. For regular nouns that end in a consonant, then Y, you change the Y to an I and add ES. So for example, 1 family becomes 2 families. You've changed the Y to an I and added ES. 1 family, 2 families. You don't just put an S at the end of family. For regular nouns that end in a vowel, then an O, you add S. For example, 1 scenario, 2 scenarios. A vowel, then an O. For the singular noun, you can just add an S to make a plural. For regular nouns that end in a consonant, then O, you have to add ES, except for musical terms. So for example, 1 potato, 2 potatoes. You just add the ES at the end of potato. 1 potato, 2 potatoes. But for piano, you just add the S. Consonant O, you just add an S because it's a musical term. Piano, 2 pianos. Regular nouns that are words from a foreign language, including musical terms, you add an S. So for example, 1 taco, 2 tacos. Obviously, taco is Spanish. 1 taco, 2 tacos. Aria, which is a musical term. 1 aria, 2 arias. Just added the S to taco to get tacos, and you've just added the S to aria to get arias. For regular proper nouns, remember are personal names or nationalities, you add an S. For example, 1 Eskimo, 2 Eskimos. 1 Picasso, 2 Picassos. For regular nouns that are shortened version of longer words, you add an S. So for example, photo, which is short for photograph, you just add an S. 1 photo, 2 photos. Let's look now at some irregular nouns. Regular nouns, there were rules, some exceptions, but mainly rules. Irregular nouns, unfortunately, you're just going to have to memorize these. Some irregular nouns form plurals in unusual ways. Unfortunately, they do not follow any rules, so you're just going to have to learn them. The plurals of some irregular nouns are completely different to their singulars. For example, 1 tooth, 2 teeth, and 1 foot, 2 feet. The plurals of some irregular nouns are exactly the same as their singular form. For example, 1 fish, 2 fish, 1 sheep, 2 sheep. Here's a selection of plurals for irregular nouns. One oasis, 2 oases. 1 tooth, 2 teeth. 1 aircraft, 2 aircraft. 1 man, 2 men. 1 cactus, 2 cacti. One person, 2 people. 1 moose, 2 moose. 1 mouse, 2 mice. 1 woman, 2 women. 1 octopus, 2 octopi. One index, 2 indices. 1 tuna, 2 tuna. 1 crisis, 2 crises. 1 goose, 2 geese. 1 medium, 2 medii. do a little bit of practice on identifying the correct form for plurals. I'm going to have some multiple choice questions. What is the plural of plane? Is it A, planes? Is it B, plans? Is it C, planes? A, B or C? Pause if you want to play along. It's planes. Question 2. What is the plural of watch? Is it A, watches, B, watches, or C, watches? What's the correct spelling of the plural of watch? It's watches. Watch ends with the CH, and the rule is to add an ES. What's the plural of monkey? Is it monkeys, monkeys, or monkeys? It's monkeys. Vowel and a Y, you can just add the S. One monkey, two monkeys. Question 4. What's the plural for bottle? Is it bottles, bottles, or bottle? It's bottles. For bottle, you can just add the S. One bottle, two bottles. Question 5. What's the plural of deer? Is it deers, deers, or deer? It's deer. So the plural for deer is the exact same as the singular for deer. One deer, two deer. Question 6. What's the plural for number? Is it numbers, numbers, or numbers? What's the correct spelling of the plural for number? It's numbers. You can just add the S to the singular of number to get the plural of number. Numbers. One number, two numbers. What's the plural of woman? Is it women's? Is it women? Or women's? It's women. So this is an irregular noun where the plural is completely different from the singular. One woman, two women. Question 8. Desk. What's the plural of desk? Is it desks, desks, or desks? Yeah, it's B, desks. Desk is a regular noun and you can just add an S at the end. One desk, two desks. Trophy. What's the plural of trophy? Is it trophies, trophies, or trophies? It's trophies. Singular of trophy is consonant Y, so you change the consonant to an I and add ES. 1 trophy, 2 trophies. Question 10. Motorway. What's the plural of motorway? Is it motorways, motorway, or motorways? It's motorways. Regular noun, you can just add the S at the end. Vowel, Y, you can just add an S. Let's do some homework based on this topic of plurals. We're going to look through a poem. There's going to be some missing words in the poem, and the poem is going to show you the rules and exceptions for making plurals. You're going to choose from each of the following options as to how to fill in the blanks in the poem. The poem confirms some of the rules for plurals, but also shows examples of some of the exceptions to the rules. Let's make a start. We'll begin with a box, and the plural is one of these words, but the plural of ox should be blank, not oxes. One fowl is a goose, but 2 are called blank, yet the plural of blank should never be meese. So this poem, as we go on, will show some of the rules for making plurals, and it will show you also some of the exceptions. So we're going to go through the entire poem, leaving the blanks, and then we'll fill in the answers at the end. To continue, you may have found a lone mouse or a whole set of blank. So the plural for mouse. Yet the plural of house is blank, not heis. If the plural of man is always called blank, why shouldn't the plural of blank be called pen? If I speak of a foot and show me your blank, and I give you a blank, would a pair be called beat? If one is a tooth and a whole set are blank, why shouldn't the plural of blank be called beath? One may be that, and 3 would be blank. Yet blank in the plural wouldn't be hose. And plural of cat is blank and not cause. We speak of a brother and also of blank. But though we may say blank, we never say methrin. Then to end the poem, then the masculine pronouns are he, his and blank, but imagine the feminine blank, sheesh and shim. This poem is a little bit cryptic, but it does show you that there are some rules which regular nouns follow, but it also reveals that there are plenty of exceptions. Unfortunately, although there are rules to follow, there's also exceptions which you're just going to have to learn. Let's look at them one at a time. We'll begin with a box, and the plural is, what's the plural of box? Press pause if you want to look through the list of options. It's boxes. The plural of box is boxes. But the plural of ox should be blank, not oxes. So this is showing you that similar words, box and ox, don't follow the same rule for making plurals. The plural of ox is oxen. Oxen. Ox, oxen. It doesn't follow the same rule to make the plural, even though they're very, very similar words. One box, two boxes. One ox, two oxen. Next one. The one fowl is a goose, but two are called, what's the plural for goose? It's geese. Yet the plural of blank should never be meese. So moose. So again, very similar words, goose and moose, but the plurals are different. Geese. The plural for moose is moose. One moose, two moose. Whereas the plural of goose is geese. One goose, two geese. Very similar words, but different rules for forming the plural. One goose, two geese. Different words for the plural compared with the singular. And one moose, two mooses. The same word for the plural as the singular. You may have found a lone mouse or a whole set of blank, yet the plural of house is blank, not heis. So what's the plural of mouse? It's mice. What's the plural of house? It's houses. So mouse becomes mice, but house is not heis, it's houses. One mouse, two mice. One house, two houses. If the plural of man is always called blank, why shouldn't the plural of blank be called pen? So what's the plural of man? Here's the words you've got left. It's men. But why shouldn't the plural of pan be called pen? So again, it's exposing that the rule for making the plural of man and pan is different. One man, two men. One pan, two pans. If I speak of a foot and you show me your blank, and I give you a blank would a pair be called beat. So the plural of foot, what's the plural of foot? It's feet. But the plural of boot is not beat, it's boots. So 1 foot, 2 feet, 1 boot, 2 boots. If one is a tooth and a whole set are blank, why shouldn't the plural of blank be called beath? So what's the plural for tooth from this list? What words have you got left? So plural of tooth is teeth, but the plural of booth is booths, not beath. So tooth and booth, very similar words, but the plurals are different. Different rules for forming the plurals. 1 may be that, and 3 would be blank. Yet in the blank in the plural wouldn't be hose, and plural of cat is blank and not cause. So the plural here is those. 1 is that, and more than 1, 3 for example, would be those. Yet hat in the plural wouldn't be hose. So it's showing again, very similar word, that and hat, but the plurals are different. Those, plural of that, hat would be hats, not hose. And the plural of cats, cat is cats and not coes. 1 of that, 3 of those. 1 hat, 2 hats, 1 cat, 2 cats. We speak of a brother and also of, so what's the plural for brother? Brethren. But though we may say mother, we never say brethren. So 1 brother, a group of brethren. So brethren being the collective noun for more than 1 brother. 1 brother, 2 brothers. 1 mother, 2 mothers. We wouldn't say a group of methren. And the masculine pronouns are he, his, and. What have we got left? Only 2 left. He, his, and him. But imagine the feminine. She, shiz, and shim. You don't say she, shiz, and shim. You would say hers and her. So he, his, and him. She, hers, and her. That's us used up all the words in the poem. So quite a wee cryptic poem, but it does show you some of the rules and some of the exceptions to the rules. Thanks again for listening. I hope you found today's lesson on plurals useful. As always, any comments, constructive criticisms or inquiries, please leave them in the comments section. Until the next time.